Hey YouTube, this is Flip. Thank you for tuning in one more time. Today we're going to talk about immigration, getting a job in Japan, and the steps you need to take if you really want to come here. I have some advice for you, and I hope it'll help you out. Today we're going to start with immigration first, because that is the prerequisite for getting a job. You're going to have to deal with these people, and a lot of the times it can be just a bad experience or a total headache or a complete nightmare. It's all up to you on how you do this. So I have some advice. Take it or leave it. Tell me what you think and send me a note. And let's get started, shall we? Okay, you want to come to Japan and you need a visa, and you're sitting at home and you think, okay, I'd like to go. What do? The first thing you need to do is go to the website, the Japanese consulate website in your area, and it'll tell you the visa processes, but the most important thing is you're going to need a certificate of acceptance from the Ministry of Justice. This comes from getting a sponsor in Japan. You have to have somebody to sponsor you. And the way to do this is you're going to, sooner or later, have to come to Japan first, scout for a job, and you may get lucky. You may end up being able to change your visa status while you're over here on your passport visa. It happens. However, immigration is increasingly denying people to do this because they prefer it as if you get your visa in your country first. And believe me, it is much easier if you do that. You can apply for a visa without a certificate of acceptance. Check the website and they'll explain how to do it. But sooner or later, you will need a sponsor. And you can come out and check out Japan. Check with some of the companies, the English schools, see what their schedules are, see who might be quitting, who might be leaving for maybe some vacation time, who knows. Come down and check it out. You may end up having to go back. It's going to cost you a little bit of money, but if you get your visa in your own country, that is truly the best way. All right, here's a little bit of advice. If you do not have a college degree of some kind, an associate's degree, bachelor's degree, whatever, you will not be able to qualify for a teacher's visa. So if you come here with no diploma, college degree, you're not going to get a visa. You know, I've heard some people say that companies in dire need of teachers will hire you right then and there on the spot, no visa required or no degree required, although I've never been able to substantiate that. You need a diploma. You have to qualify for the visa that you're applying with. And also, if you get a visa, you're only allowed to do that type of work for what your visa says that you're qualified to do. So if you have a teacher's visa, you can only be a teacher. If you find a better job working as an engineer, you can't just jump over and do it. You need to go back to immigration, change your visa status to an engineer's visa, and even still, you have to qualify for that visa too. So it's not like back in the States where you have a green card, and once you get that green card, you can do whatever you want. You can have any job you want. This is not the case. Visas are per job, per category. So, and there are quite a few. And again, you can check out the website. All right, let's say that you end up getting a sponsor. Let's say you end up getting someone that will hire you. Oh, what do you need? Okay, before you come over to Japan, make sure you get copies of everything twice, even 3 times, especially your birth certificate. Make sure that you get original copies and bring at least 2, bring at least 3. If one gets destroyed, one gets lost, you're going to need another copy. Sooner or later, you will need another copy. Trust me, it is a real headache to obtain your vital records from overseas. You can do it, but just bring yourself some extra copies. It is much easier. Also, bring all financial records as well. Copy it. You never know. Bring your DMV report. I don't know if the Department of Motor Vehicles still requires it, but it's a good idea. It's just extra ammo for you to have, especially if you have a good report. You're also going to have to submit to a crime history test, and just whatever paperwork you think that you have that you need, bring it. Bring it all. Copy every page on your passport before you come over, before you get on the plane. Copy every page and put it in an envelope. When you arrive in Japan and you get your stamp, copy everything again and put it in an envelope and separate the two. Just in case your passport gets lost, if there's no proof that you ever had a visa, you need to copy your passport. Also, with immigration, the biggest single advice I can give you is don't overstay. If your visa is set for a certain date, make damn sure that you don't overstay. I don't care what the reason is. If you overstay your visa, you better be in a hospital in traction with a busted leg, because immigration will come down on you like an avalanche. That's one thing they don't tolerate, and it's going to cause big problems for you. Also, don't lie to these people. Don't pretend that you are qualified for a teacher's job and you don't have a diploma, or you think you're going to try to get a fake diploma, have it printed up somewhere. They will check, and if you get caught, you're dead. Don't lie to these people. When dealing with immigration, if you go to the office, here's some advice. Dress nicely. Don't bring your friends. Don't bring your kids. Don't bring your coworkers. Only bring someone to help you translate if you need one. That's all. Smile. Don't crack any jokes. Don't try to make friends. They have seen it all. Just yes, sir, no, sir. Do it as required of you, and don't volunteer any extra information. Whatever is asked of you, answer it directly. If you change your address, notify immigration immediately. If you lose your foreigner's card, notify immigration immediately. It's a law. And make sure you carry it at all times. If you don't, it's punishable by a couple $1,000s in fines and a year in jail. All right. So now you are here in Japan. Let's say you have a visa. You have a place to live. The first initial probationary period for anybody's visa is usually a year. You can stay here for a year before you need to renew it. Okay. During that time, and during all times, remember one thing, that immigration owns you. Lock, stock, and barrel. They can deny you a renewal for any reason. Their discretionary powers are very broad, and you can be shipped back for just about anything. So be damned careful. Case in point, if you have any altercation with anyone here in Japan, any Japanese citizen, and you lay a finger on any Japanese citizen, regardless of whether they accosted you or not, you are going to go to the clink. They're going to be set free. That's just the way it is. And if that happens, you stand a great risk of losing your visa. So you are on your best behavior, so much so that it'll probably make you choke. However, Japan is relatively a safe society, at least on paper. The chances of you being accosted by someone are rather slim. I don't see it happening, but it has happened. So be very, very careful. Also, final advice, marriage visas. This is a tricky subject. I want to caution anyone who is considering marrying a Japanese national. And I don't mean to scare anybody away, but let's be honest about a couple of things. First of all, in Japan, if you have a marriage visa, do not sign any paper that you cannot read, because in Japan you can get divorced by simply signing a divorce certificate, which is called the Rikon Todoke, which is available at City Hall for anyone just to pick up. It's there in a little box. If you sign this paper, regardless of whether you understand it or not, and your spouse takes this paper down to City Hall with a copy of your passport and your gaijin card, you are divorced right then and there, and it will not be overturned later. I have never known a foreigner who's won their case against their spouse because they couldn't read the document. This has been the way it has been for decades and decades and decades. Don't sign anything you can't read, okay? Okay, that being said, the next thing we'll talk about next time is actually working for a company, contracts, what to expect, what your rights are, and it should be pretty interesting. If you have any questions, let me know. And like I always say, if you don't agree, that's fine, but that's just my view. Take care, everybody.